As a kid, I remember the sound of cicadas beginning in the late summer. They have a distinct sound that is unmistakable to anyone in the Midwest. As the old saying goes, when you hear the first one, it's 3 months until the first frost. That's been proven to be pretty accurate, but for me, it meant even less time until school started. I didn't hate school, exactly. It was fun at times, and it was a good way to hang around with friends. What I didn't like was that I had to be there. No more endless afternoons reading comic books and sneaking junk food. No more riding my bicycle for hours with no particular destination. It was time for times tables and writing about how our summer went. I always thought it was a cruel joke, having to write about summer activities as we were forced to stay in a hot, regimented classroom. Kind of like throwing someone in prison and making them write a story about their lost freedom. Adding insult to injury, back then, there were no free sales tax days. Parents all over the country went shopping with that slip of paper in hand, getting pencils and crayons and new clothes. New shoes were on the list. I always wore mine down to an amazing state of deterioration by kicking rocks, dragging the toe along railroad ties, and lobbing hedge apples across the street with my instep. Pencils were 4 cents and a handful of paper was maybe 29 cents. There were no pocket calculators in the early 60s. There were no computers in the classrooms. Heck. There weren't even air conditioners most of the time, and there certainly weren't metal detectors or coded name badges to scan. Then there was the reaction by the parents. Of course, I didn't really get it, but they seemed happy I would be gone. They acted as if they had somehow gained their freedom as we were losing ours. It was strange to me how they had an opposite reaction to the very same situation. Here we were on our way to the gallows, and they were laughing and smiling. It goes along the way of so many sayings. One man's prison is another man's paradise. What I finally realized is that when I heard the cicadas saying that my freedom was about to end, my mom heard the same insect telling her that she could now take an afternoon nap if she wanted. She could go to the store without buying candy at the checkout counter, and she could go to the bathroom without an interruption for a Band-Aid or to be a referee. As for the small creature making all that noise, he had no such intention. He was just calling for a girlfriend.